So welcome to the Crowdfunding Bootcamp. And to give you more perspective of what to expect, it will be a 3-day training session. The first training is today. The second one will take place same time on Wednesday, and the third one same time on Friday. And the idea of this bootcamp is to make sure that we equip you with as much information as possible for you to understand what crowdfunding is, for you to understand how to navigate a crowdfunding campaign, and to maximize the success that you gain in your crowdfunding campaign. So again, I'd like to welcome all of you. And as we continue, I want this session to be as interactive as possible. If you do end up having any questions, feel free to interject during the training session to ask me a question, or feel free to also add any questions in the chat section, and I'll make sure that I do come across all of them and answer them as well. Okay? So up to there, does anyone have any questions? Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, no problem. Awesome. Again, we also have the Q&A section, so feel free to ask questions at any time. I will be sharing my screen shortly, and what we'll be tackling today is the fundamentals of crowdfunding. It's important for you to have the basic understanding of what crowdfunding is, just to allow you to know what to expect, what to consider, and how to navigate it in the best way possible. So kindly let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see it.
Great, awesome. So with these training sessions, we are partnered with Standard Bank, and we'll talk more about how our partnership came about and some of the benefits that you gain as being part of this bootcamp. Of course, with terms and regulations being applied. Okay. First, I'd like to give you a quick kind of understanding or analysis of who Thundafund is and what we do. So Thundafund is Africa's leading reward-based crowdfunding platform. And when we say reward-based, our platform allows businesses to set up crowdfunding campaigns with the aim, with the aim of raising funds for their business to either take it to the next level or to allow it to launch any new ideas that they have for their business. So we have had quite a number of businesses create a crowdfunding campaign, be able to raise funds by using the knowledge that we share with them as well. Over the years, we've partnered with such great organizations. And just to name a few, we've partnered with ShopRite, we've partnered with UNCDF, we've partnered with Bank and also ALX. And right now, we are currently partnered with Standard Bank. We've been partnered with them since October of 2021. So it's been a great partnership, and quite a number of businesses have benefited from this partnership as well. As for Thundafund, we launched in 2013 in South Africa, but we are currently available in 3 countries. That's Kenya, South Africa, and the Gambia. So that's just a quick introduction of who Thundafund is. To quickly introduce myself, my name is Rose Dongo. I'm the lead campaign manager at Thundafund. I am based in Nairobi, Kenya, and I'm really excited to take you through these training sessions with you. So let's go back to how we started our partnership with Standard Bank. So Standard Bank partnered with us in October 2021, and initially the idea was to support businesses that had been affected by the riots and the floodings that took place around that time in KZN. But as time went by, we decided to expand our partnership because we realized that quite a number of businesses can benefit with this partnership that we have. So what Standard Bank is offering is for any business that has a Standard Bank business account with them, they are qualified to receive 50,000 Rand worth of matching funds, which means that if you are a Standard Bank client and you have a business account with them and it has been active for at least a minimum of 3 months, and there have been transactions taking place, and you fall under certain categories, which I'll explain later, you are able to receive matching funds, whereby when you run your crowdfunding campaign, for every Rand that you raise, you receive an equivalent Rand until you deplete the 50,000. So I'll give an example. Let's say I'm a Standard Bank business client and I have a business. Let's say I own a boutique, and I've decided to run a crowdfunding campaign because I want to expand my business. Maybe I want to open a second location or I want to buy more inventory. So I've decided to crowdfund to raise funds from my networks to help me to achieve this goal. So the more I raise on my crowdfunding platform campaign, now if I'm qualified with Standard Bank, I receive matching funds. So if I'm able to raise 3,000, Standard Bank adds an equivalent 3,000, and I have a pool of 50,000. So the more I raise, the more it's matched until we complete or deplete the 50,000. So again, like I said, this qualifies for businesses that have Standard Bank business accounts that have been active for 3 months. And there are also other categories under which you must fall under in order for you to be able to receive the matching funds. So some of the rules and regulations that we follow when it comes to the matching funds is one, you have to be able to raise 3,000 on your own. Once you've been able to raise 3,000 on your own, we match 3,000. And any other amount you raise after that, we do match until you complete the 50,000. And even if you complete the 50,000, if you still have more supporters who want to contribute towards your campaign, it's very much possible. But in order for you to unlock the matching funds, you have to be able to raise 3,000 on your own first from your network. We match the 3,000, and anything you raise after that, we continue to match. Okay. Again, we say we match on a one-on-one basis. So for every rand, we give a rand, but you have to raise 3,000 on your own first in order for you to unlock the matching fund options. Okay. One is allowed to contribute a maximum of 2,500 rand to their own campaign. So sometimes you find businesses want to support their own campaign to help with that momentum. As an individual, you are allowed to contribute 2,500 rand. As we continue with our trainings, I believe there will be better understanding in case something is not clear. But again, feel free to ask any questions in regard to the matching funds, and I'll be able to give further clarification. Okay. Again, a campaign is not, you're not limited to only raising 50,000. Campaigns can raise as much as they would like. I've come across campaigns where they raised maybe 100,000 on their own, and from that they received the 50,000 matching funds. That means they were able to live with 150. Some were able to raise 30,000 and they received 30,000 matching funds. So even if you deplete the matching funds and you still have more people willing to support you, it is very possible for you to raise as much as you want. We've seen campaigns become quite successful with great guidance and great navigation of their campaign. They have been able to be successful, and we also do hope the best for you as well. So someone in the comment section says they do not understand the 3,000 part. Okay, no problem. Let me clarify further. When you're launching a crowdfunding campaign, the idea is that you want to raise funds towards your business. So we do help you create a crowdfunding campaign where you're able to explain more about your business. You're able to explain why you're raising funds and what you hope to use the funds for. Okay. Now, for businesses that qualify to receive the matching funds, you have to raise 3,000 on your own from your existing network. Because what happens is, in order for a crowdfunding campaign to be successful, you have to navigate your networks and encourage them to support your campaign and contribute towards your campaign. Okay. Now, when it comes to the matching funds, you have to raise 3,000 on your own in your campaign. So, for example, if I've launched my campaign today, I will reach out to my networks, my friends, my family, and other individuals who know about my business and are willing to support. If their contributions are cumulatively reach 3,000, then I automatically get a matching fund of 3,000 from Standard Bank. And from there, any other amount I raise after that, Standard Bank will match. So, for example, after the 3,000, if I raise 10 Rand, they'll match the 10 Rand. If I raise another 50 Rand or 5,000 Rand, they match that until they deplete the pool of 50,000 Rand. So I hope this gives you better understanding. But again, if not, we'll still come back to it and talk more about it. In the meantime, please feel free to add your questions in the chat section. And as we continue, I'll definitely make sure that we cover all the questions that you have. Okay. So there is background noise. So kindly, for those who are not on mute, I would encourage you to mute so that everybody can hear it clearly. So please, I may mute you, but I hope that is better. Great. So let's continue. What is crowdfunding? it's important for you to understand what crowdfunding is, and there are different types of crowdfunding. So I will start with what crowdfunding is. And the idea of crowdfunding is being able to raise money for a particular project, idea, or business that you have. And the idea is being able to raise a large amount of money from a large group of people by them contributing small amounts. So we look at it as kind of, we don't want to use the word donation, but let's say, for example, someone has a goal amount they want to raise. It's easier when you're reaching out to a larger group of people where they are comfortable to contribute small amounts of money, and eventually all that amount accumulated reaches your goal. So with crowdfunding, it's the same. Just raising money for a business or for an existing business that you have, and people have different needs. You could be raising funds to expand your business, to buy new equipment, to maintain your current staff, maybe if you're struggling a bit, and the idea is for you to create a campaign that allows people to understand why you're raising funds. You reach out to as many people as possible, because if you have 10,000 people, we're just using random figures. If you have 10,000 people contributing 100 rand each, you know, that's how much is that? Like 1 million. So the idea of crowdfunding is just being able to reach out to as many people as possible, encourage them to just contribute what their pockets can allow them to, and eventually you see that you get closer to your goal. Okay. When it comes to reward crowdfunding, that is what we offer. People struggle with the idea of contributing towards a business. So in order for you to kind of draw people in to want to support you, our platform allows you to set up rewards, and these rewards vary. You could be offering discounts for your business, you could be offering merchandise that you have for your business, and we will review different campaigns for you to see the type of rewards they offer. But the reason why reward crowdfunding works for businesses is because when somebody contributes towards a business, they want to feel like they've gained value from their contribution. And our platform allows you to set up different rewards. So at the end of this session, as I send out the emails, I'll make sure to add links to the different campaigns that we've had from different types of businesses, just to allow you to see some of the rewards that they set up that really encourage people to come and contribute towards their campaign. Okay. Next slide is some of the things that it is important for you to know. Okay. When it comes to crowdfunding, we don't say it's charity or it's a loan. The reason why we say it's not charity is because you have set up rewards that people can receive. Okay. We also say that it is not a loan because whatever you raise, you are not expected to give the money back. That now belongs to you for you to use according to how you had stated before. So if you are raising funds to maintain your team, then that's what you do with the raised funds. So we say that reward crowdfunding, it's not charity and it's also not a loan. Okay. Crowdfunding is also a very powerful tool when it comes to raising funds. So when it comes to running a crowdfunding campaign, you will feel like you have a second job. It is very important for you to be very committed. It is important for you to follow up on your campaign on a daily basis and to reach out to as many people as possible. And that is the only way that your crowdfunding campaign can be successful. People have this assumption that once you launch, you automatically start receiving funds. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. You really need to put in the effort to communicate your crowdfunding campaign to as many people as possible, and we will guide you on how that can be done. Okay. And also, crowdfunding is a very powerful tool in the sense of not only does crowdfunding help you raise funds, it also actually helps you reach out to as many networks as possible, which also helps with marketing your business. So there's so many benefits that come with crowdfunding, and we encourage that when we take you through the benefits, maximize those benefits as you continue to run your crowdfunding campaign. Okay, any questions up to there from anyone? We will be sharing this presentation as well, together with the recording for any reference purposes later on. Yes?
I just wanted to ask, what is the duration of the campaign?
Of the campaign? That's a very good question. People have different durations. It is very customizable. We do encourage 30 days as a good start date. And the reason why is if you create a campaign that will stay for way too long, there is reduced urgency. People will see, oh, you have 60 days, you still have time, and they they don't feel the urgency of contributing. We feel like 30 days is a very sweet spot for how long a campaign should be. However, there is flexibility in terms of you can end your campaign early if you reach your target early and if you're satisfied. And you also have the option of extending your campaign if you feel like you need more time and you want to use a different strategy, or if you feel like there are more people who want to contribute. But we always encourage people to start with 30 days.
Okay, noted.
Okay, great. Awesome. Great. So let's continue. Um, Benefits of crowdfunding. It's important for you to understand these benefits in advance so that as you continue to run your crowdfunding campaign, you can maximize each of these benefits. Okay. The first benefit is knowledge and experience. Okay. When you're running your crowdfunding campaign and when you're reaching out to your networks and as you're explaining to them why you're raising funds, it also comes with knowledge. Sometimes you find yourself reaching out to people within the same industry as you, and they can see what you're working towards, and they feel the need of sharing some of their knowledge or expertise in the same industry. And this does happen to quite a number of people, and it is beneficial for you to come across people who are in the same industry and are willing to support, help, and give you knowledge. It is important for you to be willing to take that in because you never know what this may assist you with. And it's also, again, a great way of creating new networks. As we said, it is important for you to really market and push your campaign out in order for you to receive maximum support. So the more you do that, the more you come across people from different walks of life, as well as people within the same industry who are invested in seeing at what you're doing and just sharing their knowledge as well. The second benefit you get is strategy. So the reason why we say that is because when you're creating a crowdfunding campaign, you have some questions that you're asking yourself. One question, which is very important, is how much money do you want to raise? Number two, how do you plan to use the funds? And that pushes you into a place where you need to strategize your game plan with the raised amount. Crowdfunding is something that you can only do so many times for your business. So you want to make sure that when you launch your first crowdfunding campaign, you give it all you got, you raise great amounts of funds, and from there, make sure that you maximize that amount. You want to make sure that the money you invest into your business can generate more funds for you. Okay. So it is very important for you to strategize, and it does put you in a position where you're thinking more long term about your business. Yes, I've raised funds for this particular goal now, but how does that look like 2, 3 years from now? So it does definitely does push you into a category where you want to strategize more for your business. Okay. The third benefit is market opportunity. So, as I had mentioned before, in order for you to have a great and successful crowdfunding campaign, you will find yourself in a position where you are promoting your campaign a lot. It could be to your existing networks via email, via phone call, via WhatsApp messages, or even promoting it on your social media platforms. And in that, you find yourself, you're actually remarketing your business to existing networks. Sometimes you find that when you launched your business, maybe not everybody found value or was in need of the goods and services that you're offering. But now, as you crowdfund and you reach out to your networks again, it's kind of reminding them that this is what you do, this is the business you have. And if they do have a need for it, they will remember that they can reach out to you. Or if they do hear a friend or a family member on their end who is in need of your goods and services, they will remember you. So with crowdfunding, we've realized it's kind of reigniting your network to allow them to remember that this is what you do, this is the business that you have, and these are the products and services that you're offering. Okay. Another benefit is refining your product. It is very important for a business to provide goods and services that the market are in need of. Okay. And once they're in need of it, it's important for you to make sure that you also refine your product and service in a way that people will go like, this is exactly how I would want it. So with all the feedback that you get once you're crowdfunding, it allows you to also look at your goods and services and ask yourself, is this the market demand, or may I need to refine or make subtle changes to what I'm offering? So, knowledge is very, very important. Take it in, ask yourself, am I offering the service the way it should be? or should I make certain changes? Because you want to make sure that you are quenching a need in the market and you're quenching it in the most accurate way possible. Okay. Again, another benefit is demand. Like we said, when you're crowdfunding, you're marketing, it's kind of like you're remarketing to a new crowd and to existing crowd. So demand increases. And with demand increasing, you're increasing your sales, which also helps you gain more profit from your business. So it's very important for you to navigate your crowd as best as you can. And the final one is being able to raise funds. So, like we said, crowdfunding comes with a lot of benefits, but of course, the main one is being able to make sure that you raise funds for your campaign in order for you to achieve the goals you have for your business. Okay. Any questions up to that? Okay, so let's proceed to how crowdfunding works. Here is a diagram that gives you kind of a flow of how crowdfunding works. Number one, it's you ever have an idea, or in this case, you have an existing business that you want to raise funds for. So the first thing you do is go to our platform. We will give you a guide, which is Thundafund.Africa, and there you're able to create your campaign. So how our platform has been curated is that there are different steps with certain information that is required. You know, if it's your story, if it's your video, if it's your rewards, and we'll take you through all of this. And we do have an individual from our team called Maureen who guides you on maybe if there are certain changes that you need or if it's something that you do not understand very clearly, she'll be able to help you. Okay. So once you've done that, the next thing is now you have your campaign. Your campaign has been approved by our team. It's ready, it's good to go. It's now important for you to reach out to your networks. Like we said, funds don't automatically come to your campaign. You do need to market your campaign to your networks, friends, family, business networks that you have, and just also social media platforms. If you do have a social media platform, sending it via email as well, via WhatsApp, and letting people know that you have an existing campaign. And of course, that their support will be highly appreciated. The more you reach out with your crowd, the more you navigate with them and explain to them what you're doing, you slowly see that people start contributing towards your campaign. And like we said, what crowdfunding is being able to raise small amounts of money from a large group of people with the aim of reaching a goal amount that you could have. Okay. We also say that for people who are close to you, like your friends and family, encourage them to share your campaign with their networks as well, to reach out to a bigger audience as well, social media as well, and any other platform that may be useful to you. And as time goes by, you realize that the funds continue to increase and you do reach your target. Okay. So this is a very simple flow diagram to just give you a better understanding of what a crowdfunding journey looks like. So that's why I said you will need to spare some time in the course of your day to follow up on your campaign because you need to make sure you're reaching out to people. You need to make sure that you're promoting it to the platforms that you have access to or you prefer to share it on. You know, some people will have questions, and it's important for you to spare some time to explain to them what exactly crowdfunding is and what your aim and your goal is. So, like I said, crowdfunding will be like your second job. It's very important for you to give it its attention in order for you to be successful.
I would like to ask another question.
Absolutely.
When the campaign starts,
Yes.
so let's say I'm able to raise 5,000.
Yes.
Does Standard Bank match at the same time or only after the campaign?
We match it as time goes by. We do review campaigns and match it maybe once or twice in a week and review a campaign. For any increased amount, we do add it just to give you an understanding of what you've raised so far, including the matching funds.
Oh, okay. No
Yes.
problem. Thank you.
Okay, great. Also, in order for us to
Can
review,
I ask something, please,
absolutely,
before you
yes.
go?
No, go
Do
ahead.
they add that amount? Do they add the amount to the one you've already raised, or is it separate so that you know where you are, or how does it work there?
So how it works is our team is the one which proceeds with adding the amount. Okay, we add it to your actual campaign, but we do give you a breakdown via email of what you have raised on your own and what has been added by Standard Bank. And we also tell you we've added this to your campaign from Standard Bank. This is the remainder that you can receive as you continue to raise funds. So we do give you a breakdown via email. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does.
Okay, great. Awesome. There was something I wanted to say, I don't know, I've forgotten. Yes, but I wanted us to talk about the different networks that you will be reaching out to. One of the things I've realized is people don't know who do I need to reach out to help me raise funds on my campaign. Okay. And that's one of the things I would want us to tackle. We categorize the networks into three different types of networks: the first, second, and third degree of networks. So, like I said, in order for you to raise funds, you need to establish who your networks are, put them in the different categories. And this is work you need to do in advance before your campaign goes live, because you need to know who you'll be reaching out to, how you reach out to them, what to tell them, how do you communicate to them. We will be sharing this material with you in the next upcoming trainings on what is the best way to communicate to them and what words to use, what messaging to use. Okay, but for now, I'd want us to establish the three degrees of networks. So let's start with the first one. The first degree of networks are the ones we call the committed. So these are the people who are closest to you, to your business, and also understand why you're setting up a crowdfunding campaign. And these people tend to be your friends, your family, your close supporters, and your trustees. Okay. It is important to let them know in advance by offering like a soft launch communication, non-formal, not too serious, and let them know that you are planning to launch a campaign. And the reason why it's important to let people know in advance is because you also want people to prepare themselves financially. I believe as a business and also as individuals, we tend to budget every month on our finances, both personally and also for our businesses, for those who own businesses. So it's also important for us to let people know in advance. Our aim is for you to launch your campaign early in the first week of November. So as we continue to do the trainings this week, there's some certain tasks we'll be giving you just to make sure that you are prepared by the time that you're launching your campaign. Okay. So these people are easy to talk to because they're people who are familiar with you and your business, and you have a very non-formal type of relationship. It's also easier for you to ask these people to reach out to their existing networks. You can maybe be talking to your brother and say, I know you have a few friends. Please feel free to share my campaign with them. In case they would be willing and would want to support my campaign. Of course, by this time, you already explained to your brother or your sister or your close friend what exactly you're doing. And you can also share material with them, like a message that you can share with them, just to allow them to understand why you're raising funds. This is the easiest network to penetrate. So it's very important to approach it in the best way possible and maximize the benefits that come with this degree of networks because they're very close to you and there's only so much effort that will be put in when it comes to talking to them. Okay. The second degree of networks, these are people who we call the inspired. And who they are people who know about you, your company, and your project. They may know you, you may not necessarily know them on a personal level. Okay. When it comes to communication with these people, we say it's semi-formal. So who are these individuals? These could be your clients who may be purchased from you. You may not know them on a personal level, but are dedicated clients. These are people maybe who are in your mailing list and you do receive emails from them and vice versa. This could be people who follow you on your social media platforms. For businesses that do have social media platforms, and also if you do have a social media platform and you may not know all your followers, these are good people to target and to reach out to. As we said, the communication is semi-formal. Okay. These are audiences that you may interact quite often, but the good thing about this audience is that they're quite familiar with your products. They're quite familiar with what you're doing because they follow you on your platforms and they are aware of your business. Okay. These people take a bit more effort to inspire, to give to your project. So it's important to use a different type of communication lingo when you're speaking to them about your campaign. For those who are in your mailing list, you reach out to them via email. For those who are on your Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or TikTok account, if you have any of those social media platforms, post up there and encourage them to support your campaign. The thing is, with your campaign, there will be a link. So when you share the link, when somebody clicks on the link, it directly takes them to your campaign. So it's very easy and quick access to your campaign. Okay. Like I said, we do have different lingo with them. So we will share templates that you can use when you're reaching out to them as well. Okay. Now, the third and final degree of networks are the people we call the shoppers. These are everyone else, These are people who you don't know. They may not necessarily know you, but through different endorsements, through marketing, through setting up great rewards for your campaign, they may come across your business, they may come across your campaign, and they may want to know more about it. Okay. So these people, you may use semi-formal to formal communication when speaking to them. You will need to put in more effort with these individuals. So like I said, it's very important. You may need to put in more effort to kind of draw them in, but these are people who we call shoppers. So they may find value in your rewards that you've set up for your campaign. So it's important to think of good rewards for your campaign. And others may have just come across your campaign because of the marketing that you're doing. When you're telling your friends and family to share with other people, these are third degree of networks. They don't know you, you don't know them, but they've come across your campaign. So like I said, we have these 3 degree of networks. It's important for you to analyze the 3 types of degrees of networks. It's important for you to think about what's the best way to reach out to them, and also to create templates of what you want to tell them. Again, we'll share all of this in the upcoming trainings. But in the meantime, what I would encourage you to do is ask yourself, who are your first degree of networks? Okay, list them down. Ask yourself how you want to approach your second and third degree of networks as we continue with the training sessions. Okay, so any questions about the different types of networks? Okay.
I wanted to ask something.
Yes.
You said something about rewards.
Yes.
When we set up, do we have to be, there should be something that will be given for a certain amount that they are giving? I'm not following there.
Yes, actually, you're very spot on. So what happens with the rewards? You set up different types of rewards of different amounts. And the reason why we set up rewards, like we said, is to encourage people to contribute towards your campaign. And also you set different rewards of different amounts because people have different capacities and capabilities of contributing. Okay. Rewards vary depending on your business. You can set up physical rewards or non-physical rewards, and we will be reviewing the different types of rewards. Okay. Some people who have really good social media following decide to give a social media shout out as a reward. Some people may decide to give discounts on particular items that they have. Some people want to give an experience. So we do review different rewards and see what works best for you and your business. Okay. So we normally encourage there to have at least 3 rewards, each of different amounts, just to allow different people to pick what they would prefer, and just to give people options as well. I hope that kind of gives you a better idea.
Sorry. So if I heard you correctly, so you'll be assisting. There'll be somebody who will be assisting us in this journey as we are doing it from you guys.
Yes, as you create your campaign, we'll definitely be guiding you, and we'll also encourage you to think of some rewards on your end, and we will be able to review and let you know, is this a good reward? Is this a good idea? Maybe we can guide you on how to adjust it accordingly. And we'll also be sharing other campaigns, okay, that previous businesses have set up, just to give you a better understanding of how rewards would look like. Okay. You know your business best, so you may be in a better position to see what capacity you have in terms of the rewards you want to offer. However, we are very much here to guide you on whether it sounds like a good reward. We normally tell people, ask yourself, if you see this reward, would you be interested in purchasing it? But we'll definitely be going through that as well. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Okay, so let's continue with the recipe of success. In order for you to have a successful crowdfunding campaign, these are some of the things that we believe in combination will give you a successful campaign. The first one is the size of the network. We always say the bigger the network, the better. However, it doesn't mean that if you have a smaller network, you may not be successful. Okay. We have the ability to give. The people you're reaching out to, what ability do they have to give for your campaign? And the third one is the willingness to give. Someone may have the ability to give, maybe their pockets allow them to give, but are they willing to give? If you put these three together, it does give you the recipe of a successful campaign. Okay. And we will explain further as to why. And this is because that the bigger the size, the better. You may have a group of 10, let's say 1,000 people who are willing to give 100 Rand each. Okay. But you may also have 10 people who are willing to give 5,000 Rand each. So the size of the network and the ability to give and the willingness to give will always vary between businesses. We've seen businesses reach their goal with a smaller number of people. You see that they maybe had 10 supporters and they were able to reach maybe 50,000 or something of the sort. And then sometimes you find that other people have 100 supporters and reached the same amount as well. So it's very important for you to look at your networks, see, figure out what the ability to give is and the willingness to give as well, especially with the first degree of networks. So it's very important for you to start reviewing this in advance so that you can know who you're reaching out to, you can know what to expect and how to market your campaign even more. Okay. So let's start with the size of the network. So number one, we talk about momentum. Your early supporters will be the people you already know. In order for you to also have a good campaign, it's important for you to maintain momentum. And the people who can help you maintain momentum are your first networks. Those are your friends, your families, people close to you, and people that know you quite well and your business. Encourage them to start supporting your campaign in the first days to maintain momentum. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but sometimes when people are running fundraisers, the more people start contributing, the more other people are encouraged to do the same. Okay. You may share your link to someone and they reviewed your campaign in the morning and you had raised 1,000 Rand. And then later on in the afternoon, they see you've gone to 3,000. They become inspired to maintain that momentum and to see that number increase. Okay. So it's very important to have good momentum at the beginning. Also, when it comes to the size of your network, it's important for you to have a soft launch. When we say a soft launch, allow people to know in advance that you're launching a crowdfunding campaign. As said before, it helps them prepare their pockets in advance and budget you within and add you to their budget in terms of contribution. Okay. Number three, we do encourage that you map out your networks. Kindly, again, if you are unmuted, please be unmuted so that we are able to hear clearly. Okay, thank you. So the other thing is to map out your networks. We've said there are different types of networks, the first, second, and third degree. It's very important for you to map out your networks in advance so that you can know who you will be reaching out to. And then the final one, when it comes to the size of network, is your communication. Make sure that you have a diverse communication channels. For people that you talk to on WhatsApp, reach out to them on WhatsApp. For people who prefer email, reach out to them via email. For those who prefer phone calls, reach out to them via phone call and follow up with a message. For those who interact with you on social media, reach out to them on social media. So we do encourage that you reach out to all communication platforms that you have. And this allows you to reach out to all the individuals within your networks in the mode of communication that they prefer. Okay. Next is the ability to give. Okay. When it comes to the ability to give, we look at it in three ways. Number one, setting a realistic goal. Okay. When you're setting the goal, please make sure that you set a goal that your networks find realistic and feel like accumulatively we can help you reach this goal. And I'll give you an example why. Sometimes you find that a business has set up a goal of R1 million. However, if they were to look at their networks, the probability of them being able to reach that goal may be on the lower side. Another thing is also your networks will look at the goal and feel like I'm only contributing 200 Rand for you who set up R1 million. I feel like that's a drop in the ocean. And they may feel that their contribution may not really help you reach that particular goal. We always encourage people to start with a lower goal, okay? And you can always increase your goal if you feel the need to so as you continue to run your campaign. But we do encourage people to start with lower goals before with rather than setting up extremely large goals that people may find or may feel that you may not be able to reach. So it's important to set realistic goals. Some of the ways you set goals is first you can observe your networks and estimate how much you hopefully think you may be able to raise from them. Another way is ask yourself what are your needs for your business. List all your needs, but list them from the most important need to the least important. Okay. And from there, gauge how much each of the needs require you to raise and decide from there what goals do you want to start with. Okay. If you're to ask me the average amount that people set their crowdfunding campaigns, especially for those who are new, I would say people range from about 50,000 Rand to 150. However, we do not limit you to that particular amount. You know your networks best, you know your business best, and you know your business needs best. So we do give you the freedom to set a goal that you would like, but we also do advise accordingly as well. Okay. The second point is offering compelling goal rewards. It's important for you to motivate your supporters by providing compelling rewards in reference to your business. As we had said, we will be sharing campaigns that were quite successful and just for you to have an idea of some of the rewards they set up. And this can be inspiration for you to think of what direction you want to take when it comes to setting rewards. Another thing I would also say is we all have different types of businesses. Just do some little Google search and try see what are the best rewards to set up for a crowdfunding campaign for a business in the in whatever industry you're in. Is it the film industry? Is it the cosmetics industry? Is it a boutique? So it depends. Also do some research on your end. That does come in quite handy because from our experience we do know that different businesses totally vary. So you can do a little bit of research just to see what a compelling reward would be. And another thing is offer a range of rewards. Like we've said, your people have different financial capabilities, and everybody wants to receive a reward. Make sure that the reward amounts you've set up are different. We sometimes you find people set up like one for 150 Rand, another one for maybe 500, another one for 1,000, just different amounts. And whatever in each individual's financial capacity, they will select the reward that works best for them. So you want to make sure that you have options. Okay. Now, the last one is the willingness to give. Someone may have the networks and they may have the ability to give, but in order for you to push home run and to have them contribute, is push them to a point where they are now willing to give whatever they're capable of giving. And there are two things that are important for you to think of when it comes to making sure that you push people to the end where they are willing to give. Number one, it's telling a compelling story. When you're setting up your crowdfunding campaign, there is a section where you will be required to write a story, and I'll take you through a campaign just to give you an idea. And at this point, it's important for you to make sure that you connect with your networks. And when I say with connect is give them the true story of your journey in this business. We've had people share how they came up with the idea, some of the sacrifices that they had to make in order for them to launch. It's also okay to share some of the things you struggled with in the beginning of your business, and also share some of the things you've been able to be successful with and achieve in your business. We say this because you want to connect with your crowd. So it's important for you to show them the good and the bad as well. You may say that when I started, you had very little capital, maybe you struggled a bit, or maybe you started your business in a very small shop and now you've been able to expand. Because in as much as people are coming to support you, they also want to see some of the things you've been able to do for yourself and your business. So it's very good to highlight some of the successes you've had in the business, some of the things you struggled with and how you are able to overcome. And then also share some of the new exciting things you want to bring up, or if you're using the funds to maintain your business, how those funds will be extremely helpful for your business. So it's important for you to connect with your people, and we will be sharing some things you can use to help you generate a good story for your campaign. The next thing that will help you have people be willing to give is by asking for their support. People will not be aware of your campaign if you do not share it with them. So it is extremely important for you to make sure that you communicate your campaign to as many people as possible. Because sometimes there are people within your networks who are willing to help. You did not know they were willing to help, and they may not have known that you do need that support. By you asking, it allows you to let people know what you're working on, what you're hoping to achieve. So by adding these two things, you're able to pull people into being willing to give. So these are very important points. Any questions up to there? So I have come towards the end of today's session, just giving you an introduction and understanding of what to expect when it comes to crowdfunding. I will share this link where you're able to sign up on our platform. Sign up is free. Creating your campaign is free. Okay. We'll be taking you through how to create your campaign. And also another thing we'll also be doing is sharing campaigns with you to give you a better understanding. Okay. Before we come towards the end of the session, I want to share some deliverables that I hope you'll be able to do before Wednesday. And I also want to take you through an actual campaign to give you a visual of how a campaign looks like. Okay. So number one, we do want you to start by signing up and start with the process of creating a campaign. We do have a very simple place where you have to put in basic information. So at least fill that in first by Wednesday. The other thing is that we want you to list down your networks, okay? List them down under the different categories, categorize them, and see how you'll be reaching out to them. Like we said, it's really important for you to make sure that you identify your networks, because these are the people you'll be reaching out to. And the third thing I'd want you to do is list how many people you think can help you reach that first 3,000 goal when it comes to Standard Bank for the matching funds. Okay. I will be sharing more details about what you need to do in order for you to know whether you've been approved by Standard Bank for the matching funds. Sometimes not all businesses are approved for the matching funds, but even for those that are not, they still do end up having successful campaigns. So we are happy that you've joined today's session, and we hope that the guidance we've given you so far in today's training has given you a better understanding of what crowdfunding is, what to expect, and what it looks like. Okay. Any questions before we go to the actual campaign? Please feel free to ask any questions as I open the campaign that we'll be reviewing. Again, if you feel shy with speaking up, feel free to add it in the comment section. So kindly give me just a few minutes as I load up the campaign, and then we'll review a campaign just to allow you to see how one looks like. So a few more minutes, and then we'll be able to review one. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Okay, so I am sharing my screen. Kindly let me know if you're able to view my screen. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here is an
Yes.
example. Awesome. Glad to hear that. Here is an example of a campaign that was launched by a business that had been approved by Standard Bank. And the name of the campaign is Let's Get Growbox Back on the Road Again. So to give you a perspective of what this business is that they do sell different types of plants, and they did have a car where they were able to move from one place to another by setting up grow boxes for different people with different plants that they would prefer. Okay, so for them, they were raising funds because the car that they had was in bad shape. Okay, they had, if you look at a campaign, when you click on a campaign's link, this is how it appears. Here we find that this is the video. The video will appear on the left hand side. On the right hand side, you'll find the name of the campaign. So this is the name that they came up with. They said, let's get Growbox back on the road again. Okay. They gave a brief introduction as to what their business is about. And then here is the dream goal. They had initially set up a goal of 250,000 Rand. They were able to raise 71,980 Rand. This is inclusive of the matching funds. So half of it is matching funds, half of it they were able to raise on their own. And the number of supporters they had was 59 supporters. Okay, so they were able to achieve 28% of their goal, including the matching funds. And for individuals who were crowdfunding for the first time, they did quite well, especially if you consider the number of supporters. They had 60 supporters. They have never crowdfunded before. This was their first time. We did go through training sessions similar to this, and they were able to reach out to as many networks as possible to help them reach their goal. But they did quite well for their first time. If you scroll down, on the left hand side, you will find the campaign story. Okay. So in the campaign story, you find that they've given down a breakdown of who they are, what they do, what their mission is, and they've laid out their story quite well. I will share this link so that you have time to go through it just to have a better understanding. And then they also gave down a budget of how they would intend to use the funds. This is very, very important to add to your story because people want to understand how you plan to use the money that they're contributing. So for them, they said it depends on how much they raise. Okay. Like I said, their car was in bad condition. So they had certain layouts of how they would use their money depending on how much they raise. So they said if we reach 20,000 target, we will get the existing vehicle repaired as best as they can. And they said if we reach 50,000, we will purchase a small second-hand older model vehicle. If they reach 100,000 Rand, they will purchase a second-hand newer model vehicle. And if we reach 250, which is the target, they will purchase a brand new vehicle or at least a few years old. Okay. And it's like I said, it's very important for you to give a breakdown. For some individuals, they say, I hope to raise 250, and this is how I would use the money. And they do a budget of the 250. For them, because they were unsure on how much they'll be able to raise, they thought that this would be best way to explain to people how they would plan to use the funds. At the bottom, you have the option of adding social media links and also websites and also like a link to WhatsApp message for anything that is related to your business. And this allows your supporters to interact with you more on other platforms. Let's scroll back up. On the right hand side, you will see that there are different rewards. There's a reward worth 100 Rand, another one 300 Rand, another one 500 Rand, 1,000, and 50,000. Okay, we'll go through the rewards just to see how they set up their rewards. They said for 100 Rand, they will give you a 15% discount on any purchase, but this contribution will go towards the nursery. Okay, for 300 Rand, they said if you contribute 300 Rand, you will get a Growbox seed variety pack of 6 different types of vegetable seed varieties, 2 herbs, an annual planting guide, an instruction manual, and a sample size fertilizer. So for them, the rewards are they're offering are rewards that are linked to their business. And from their research, they knew that the people that we're reaching out to will find value in the rewards that we're setting up. Okay. The third reward is a 500,000 rand. A person will receive 8 packs of vegetable seed varieties or herbs, an annual planting guide, a one-size sample fertilizer, and an organic insecticide of 500 ml. For 1,000, you will receive the 8-pack vegetable, 4-herb, annual planting size, the fertilizer, and also a branded t-shirt. And the last one, which they said by luck, if anybody is willing, if you contribute 50,000 rand, this is a corporate pledge. And what this offers is that the vehicle that they have, they will brand it with a thank you message, and they'll brand it with, for example, if I contributed the 50,000 rand and I own a business, they will brand my business on their car, okay? And also share a thank you message as well. So with the corporate pledge, the idea was, because they're always driving around, as a business, you can find value in this pledge, because what happens is we are kind of advertising your business as well as ours, which we thought was a good idea. Unfortunately, no one picked up on that, but for those, I believe, who considered, it is a great idea if it would work well or it does incorporate into your business. So these are some of the rewards that they set up. Again, like I said, different businesses have different rewards. They totally vary, and we'll share different types of campaigns just to give you a better understanding of some of the rewards that have been shared out there. Okay. So any questions from anyone? Any questions? Okay, so this brings us to the end of today's training session. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for logging in today's session. I hope it's been informative. I hope it's given you a better understanding of crowdfunding. Our next training session will be taking place on Wednesday. And what I'll do is I will be sharing an email with the links to the training session. I will be sharing a recording of today's session, the presentation today's session, and again, as promised, links to different campaigns and also to our platform, so that you can see some of the campaigns that have been launched and how much they were able to raise. Okay. So again, thank you everyone. Do enjoy the rest of the day, and see you all on Wednesday.
Hi, before you leave, just one more question.
Sure, no problem. Yes.
I think you mentioned something about registering if ever one can qualify for the campaign or not, right?
Yes. I don't know whether you are able to register on a Google form that allows us to review your details and see whether you qualify. I will add the link, okay, to the email address, just in case you didn't. But in case you had already registered on a Google form, and you're yet to receive feedback, we will follow up with Standard Bank just to confirm whether you've been approved for the matching funds. By the time your campaign is going live, you would have known whether your business has been approved and whether you've been approved for the matching funds. Okay?
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Again, thank you everyone, and please enjoy the rest of your day, okay?